We have the greenbay route. Look at that.
Look left, look right, look home.
Oh my god, look at that. NRM.
He's a big boy again.
Remember,
You're that
guys,
guy.
be quiet. By the way, 4017 is the big boy.
Look.
Wait, Ben.
Look at that. Look at him, Spike. Jake Hudson. Look at all this stuff. Switch pictures. Oh, we even have the guy from the Polar Express. Look at that. What do we have here?
Like this.
Sam, this is the brochure if you want all the air.
Oh wait, guys, look.
Yeah.
What was that?
Ooh, wait. When we come back, I want this guy.
Passenger Express.
God, they have.
Here's all
Alright.
these. Now we're heading in.
Ben.
Here we go. Here is the aero train. It's got the aerial train.
It's actually one at the museum. It's just a miniature model. It's got the full concepts.
Like a large miniature model train. I think there's a speeder over here. Guy from the speeder.
I know there's a speeder.
Oh, look
Go
at
like
this.
It's like.
And then look.
Room.
Let's go. What are the company names? Super Chief all Captain. Look at that. Observation card.
So they have more.
The Lake Cities.
Right.
Where's the Milwaukee Road? Oh man. Here comes the attraction.
Wait, don't rush. Oh,
Bathrooms.
there they are.
Oh my god. Look at that. Here are the attractions.
4017.
Pennsylvania Bowman Lake Michelle car. Yeah, oh my god. It's really large compared to any other engine. Look how large they are.
Oh, here's the
Here's the entire Mallard engine. The white, the Eisenhower.
Yeah.
I just saw some kids in the
Ben.
cab. Right, so basically, here she is. Look at those wheels. Sounds like the cab. Can't really move anything in here.
One behind you.
No.
Hurry!
Come on.
I'm in the white behind on the Madeline Brothers.
Come on, Benji. Shovel more coal in. We're gonna be late.
Okay. Okay, is that enough coal?
Go, go, go. Wait, I don't think you can open that. Here's the thing. Can't really turn anything in here. Oh, you can turn this. Alright, come on, Benji, let's go.
Right, Matthew?
Here are the coaches beyond them.
Dad? Wait for us.
What's going on?
Here's our coaches. Bathroom.
Peeing poop.
Here is the coach interior. Yeah, there's nothing really there yet. You can see from out here.
Bedroom. Bedroom. Another bedroom.
Yeah, it's they have like everything.
Bedroom. Bedroom.
Car is the last one right there. Let's go back up, down there. Coordination, Scott. There she is. can move these things. Here's the door. Back here at the thing. We're gonna be a lot. Hey, shovel some more. Call in.
Pressure's going down.
Gotta.
Going in the cold. Ooh.
Yeah, could you imagine operating these things? These things are 100 miles an hour.
There's no way to protect the driver, Tim.
I think you should stop doing that now. I think
There
you
is. Oh no. Right, that's the tender brakes.
Went over the belt.
Oh, these things don't really. These things don't have bells. It's only in American trains.
What's the horn?
Don't know.
I don't know what that thing's for. Here's pressure, everything. You at least have to be that tall just to reach these cogs. These little valves up here. We're running low on coal. Shovel more.
Yeah, we're gonna be recording again.
Oh, look at 4017 from up here.
Guys,
Here's everything. GG1, 417, that thing. It's a Pullman car. That's a Pullman car.
Yo,
No.
There's all the moving parts here.
These things
Can't
have.
move that.
they
Can't move this thing.
lighting.
You can move this. I don't know what this is called.
Wait, I haven't gone to the coaches.
Alright, here's that. Now we're gonna move down. Okay, we're gonna go enter coach again.
This is the British Railway symbol.
British Railways.
This.
It's supposed to be wide on the ground and holding a train wheel right there. Trains also couple up to each other. That thing is larger than you think, by the way. Look. So there's a chain coupling, the buffers, things. Now entering this carriage, there's only one bathroom up here. Here's everything,
Where's your dad?
probably somewhere.
Did you see the toilet?
Yeah, there's just only one toilet in there. Here is
the other coach.
the bathroom. Do not sit on any bed or train. Windsor command train. Thank you. Okay. So you can't even sit on any of these ones?
Hi.
About going by yourself?
Here is, this place. Here is the other railway coach. Someone's in the cabin of 4017. 4884. I'm gonna go to. Alright, so
You know what, Ben?
we're just gonna wait
Benjamin.
until we go to wartime railroads, which is Spain, France, Switzerland, Belgium, Germany, Netherlands, United Kingdom, Ireland, Sweden, Norway, Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Prussia, Poland, Slovakia, Austria, Hungary, and Romania, whatever. Here's Russia, also known as the USSR. So these are every single wartime railroad. There was none in the. I don't think there was any in the USA. Here's more of those couplings. Alright, so
Your dad's not even here. You gotta
so here is the Railway Express bus thing here. More rooms, more rooms. Alright, so back over here we have the entire thing. There's all of that.
Yeah.
I'm going to the big boy's cab.
You guys gotta stick together.
Oh, there he is again. Those are wartime railroads again. So look at this. Silver July Badger sheet metal works. Yarn protection. Moving on to a different engine now. Alright, so here's everything. Let's go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, big little bears.
You can, oh my god. Look at me compared to the size of this one. But look at the overall switcher caboose. Let's go upstairs. See what's inside the cab of 4017. Let's look. There's inside the firebox.
Keep going.
All aboard!
Follow Daddy. This is what
Alright, let's go for it.
follow Daddy.
Alright, let's go for it. Come on, Ben, let's go. All aboard!
Let Daddy in some auto double.
The firebox is open. I think you can close it. Can't close it.
Wait a minute.
Here's everything. You can
That's
just
the idea.
press this. You can make it move, but since it's gonna everyone's gonna jam walked over here. Can't really. I think the whistle's in here somewhere.
These things have automatic cold feeders, so like there was a pipe that connected the cold to the firebox.
Oh. Oh,
More values. There's that.
How come the driver's seat has so many cool stuff? And the fireman don't.
Is he the fireman?
The fireman.
Look at everything.
Here's inside the big boy.
Tim.
Let's go look inside the firebox again. I think this is literally for everyone. So here's the reverser.
Fireman.
More wheels to spin.
Look, Tim, is this the brakes?
No, that's the throttle.
Look, the brakes.
This is the most famous.
Oh, that's the
I think this is a.
So there's two firemen here?
Don't know.
Oh,
And another one too. 4.
It's the same thing with the yellow stuff. That's
you can't even. You can press that. Full throttle, everyone!
huge. They removed it.
Oh my god, there's the entire tender. It's large. Here is this thing, I guess. So here is this
There's 8 others.
040.
Why don't I take pictures of you guys there?
With this guy.
Oh, this?
Here's
GG1. My
GG1.
favorite electric locomotive. Oh wait, you can't go in here, but you can definitely check the inside.
Let's go up here. Let's go check.
Here's the inside of the GG1. This is an electric locomotive.
Here's everything.
And then they put that up.
Cab, where the she's out?
See, look at the back.
Electric.
Over there.
If it's at the back, then the trans.
Look at the pantographs compared to this guy.
It looks really.
Look. It's right there. Look how large that whistle is.
Fine.
Everything right there. So, let's go back down. Look at the wheels. Look at that. Whoa. I think there's another. Yeah, this thing's right here. Sadly, you can't go into. You sadly can't go into this one.
Sit down and take a picture.
Oh wait, you can still go into the coach over there. Alright, so here's this guy. Oh, its light is on. Look at that. Look at this magnificent iron horse. You even go into the coaches over here. Alright, so here's the coach. Knuckle coupling system. Here's what it looks like to be inside a coach.
Can I go?
I think this is supposed to be a mail van. Yep, it's a mail van. Oh, I see the caboose all the way over there. Let's go look up over here. It's Pullman Joseph
Whatever
Lister.
that means, number 101.
Good.
The captain clothes are still there.
Here is
Yeah.
the old baggage cart. Okay. Bad days for Jim Crow. This is the Pullman from Lake Michelle. Oh, look at that. Let me go explore. What's this mail van here?
The mail car, looks like that's pretty
Oh,
much it.
he only uses things for mail.
I think this is the door to the passenger car.
Steamboat
There's a toilet behind it.
SPGS. Here is everything.
I don't have baby.
Alright. Let's go to the caboose. So all the way back there, you can enter the caboose also. Yeah, look at that. Stairs leading into there. I want to enter these passenger cars. Wait, I think you can. So there's stairs right here. Nothing's right there, so let's go to the caboose. So here's inside of the caboose. Oh, it's really dark in here. Here's that. Here's that. Brakes. Hey, you can see out of this window over here. Here's that. I think this is where they sleep. Where do they sleep anyways?
Yo, Matthew, look.
So here's this. Go back down now. It's kind of... Well, I didn't see this thing here. Can't really do anything to it though. Alright. Upper and western. Okay, I don't know what that says. Alright. Let's get out the caboose. Oh, I forgot about that. Here is the gratitude train.
Hey, let's go in the bottom.
There's that. Oh, there's America right there. Wait, no. Yeah, that was a snowplow. Yeah, that. Buffers. Yeah, buffers. Alright. Sorry if I accidentally
Yo, Matthew.
went to that. Now let's go up this Pullman over here. Now, these American buds are bathroom. Single toilet. Whoa, look at that. Mirror. Wait, here's this mirror over here. I'm not gonna show my face cause. Alright. Let's continue on. Here are the bedrooms of the Pullman.
Ooh, bunk bed.
Alright, come on, Ben. Now here is the other car. It's my room one. Seats. To call porter press button. So there's that. Oh, there's 101 again. There's that. Right. Let's continue on here. Drop this car. What's that? There is the A4 again. That's the thing. Oh crap. This one.
Tracks, and the tracks will get.
Wait, every single locomotive's headlight is on. Look, that one's on, that one's on, and that one's on. Now, there really is nothing else to explore here. Let's go look at Big Boy's coupling. Now, there is a reason why it's called Big Boy, because it's big. There's also a male,
For a second like that, it looked
A
like
male.
a Lego.
broke. Here are the very clean side rods. There's a light right there. Take a closer look at them. Okay, we can't go that far into. Alright. Alright, let's go. Okay, we're going to the cabin 4017 again. Look at that. Oh, there's a little small porter again. Hello. Cab, roomy and hot. There it is. Whoa, look at that. Oh yeah, there's a little door on the stain. Dropped my phone in there. There's no way to get it back. My dad's phone. Oh, the door is so squeaky. Oh, there's the doors. Bro, you think you need to close the doors?
This door is open.
Alright.
So,
I know. Do not open cab windows. Alright.
you guys are not playing roleplay in my cat.
And you're in a museum. And plus, you're not even active. They took out everything in your boiler.
My brother is.
Yeah, and they also took away your whistle.
Okay, guys, get out of the cab. I need to report too.
Alright, there's 4017. I think there's an outside attraction. Alright. Let's go to the outside attraction. Water, fuel oil. Yeah, so it looks like we're gonna go out to do the ride. I think.
You.
Alright, so there's gonna be an outside attraction. After I took the train ride around. Ooh, tram.
Trolley.
No,
Trolley, I meant trolley.
never mind.
Okay, we're back. We saw earlier. I'm gonna go get a drink. Tasty. The Canada. Hold on. Alright, guys. Let's go look at more of these for specials. The Lackawanna Unlimited, also known, and there's the Lackawanna logo. Here's the observation car again. I think this is Denver and Rio Grande. Super cheap. The North Coast Limited. The Canadian. Golden. Let's go. We're back here again. Here is the aerial train. Sure. So here's the ATSF speeder. You can't even go in this game. Here is that video. What's these things? Oh, yeah, caboose. I think this is like a miniature version of New York Central's A3A.
We got Mallard. Let's go to the train. Right.
Not time yet. One, let's go.
Come on. We'll go to the train ride.
Come on, Dad.
Is that the GG1?
GG1. To the train museum we go.
They had the locomotive running already.
Oh, there's that guy again.
The car won't hit us.
Alright, guys, stop. I'm gonna start recording.
Green Bay route. Look at everything. Everyone's going to this one.
We sit in here. We don't sit in the passenger.
We'll go sit somewhere over here. Somewhere. I smell. I smell diesel gas. Okay, so
There's
here
already
we go.
one up.
So here is some territory, right?
They should have just done the GG1.
Might take off for so.
Only the GG1.
I just realized
Yeah, could you imagine if being used on an email?
it probably is like a flat car with some additions on
Feel
it.
the wind.
Came here last summer.
Oh my god. Silently waiting
There's a
for.
Canadian National crossing over there. CN.
I see that. I see that. So we're just silently waiting over here.
They leave at. We're leaving at 12. It's 11:54. We
Oh.
have like 6 more minutes.
Alright, 6 more minutes until we set off on our little train journey.
This is not built for people. This was built for boxes.
Daniel. I will be your conductor for our trips around the museum grounds. We're still going to wait a few more minutes to make sure I've got all my passengers, and then we'll head out. We go around our loop here, mile loop that goes around our property. We go around 2 times, so you'll get to see everything. I'll point out some of the things that we have here, give a little bit of the history of the museum. Once the train is in motion, please remain seated. It is a nice smooth ride, but if we need to make any stops, it gets a little bumpy, and we will be making one stop by our boxcar. Right now, we don't have too big of a problem in the spring. In the early spring, we usually have lots of woodchucks and geese and goslings being born. So sometimes we've had to stop the train for them. And you also get a treat because we have some goats on the property right now over by the river. They are helping us eat some of the, get rid of some of the grass. We're not eating it, they're getting rid of some of the grass over by the riverside, by the rocks. So we'll get to see them when we go around. And they do come around behind the fence too, so we got to be careful over there too. So I'm going to make my one more quick safety check, and then we should be ready to go.
Guys, where's that?
This is my second. Wait, no, not my second. Like my fourth out train ride, right?
Head out. We are getting pulled right now by our Alco S6 locomotive. It's a diesel electric locomotive.
Oh, never mind. It's
We have
out.
3 operating locomotives here at
Yes,
the National
Alco.
Railroad Museum, and we have 5 passenger cars that we'll use at different times. The car in front of us is our Josephine car. It was built for the Reading line in the 1920s. And then this car was actually a flat car that the museum
I knew
had
it.
and
Oh.
redesigned as an open-air touring car. So this is a great one for us to have in the summertime. We get a little more air conditioning, and you get a much better view of the grounds as we go around and everything. If you are interested after the train ride, I can open up the Josephine so you can look inside to see what that looks like. We've done some remodeling in there a little bit. We've done some restoration work. And then we are just going to be pulling away from Hood Junction, and that was the first building built on site here at the National Railroad Museum. We started in 1956 when a group of business people from the area got together, and basically they wanted to start a museum to preserve railroading history. 2 years later, we became the National Railroad Museum. It was passed by Congress that we would be the site for the National Railroad Museum. But you all are the ones to thank, because you all are the ones that keep our train moving. Even though we got the fancy name, we didn't get any federal funding. So all of you help keep our train moving and our museum going. So thank you very much for coming out.
This is the second time we help.
Alright, so it might be leaving. It might be leaving anytime by now.
All right.
Alright,
We're leaving.
sounds like we're leaving. I think that's time.
All right. We'll be leaving in a few more minutes. Or even seconds. Oh, here we go.
There we go.
So you'll notice we don't have any seatbelts on the benches here, so hold on, because we go a whopping 7 miles
What
an hour.
seatbelts?
Whoa.
What seatbelts?
Yes, everyone raise your hands like you're on a roller coaster, 'cause here we
Oh
go.
god, that's loud. Here we go.
Dude, here we go. It's the 20th Century Limited.
And even though we're not on the main lines, we still ring the bell and we blow the horn in one spot, because we do have some crossings here that we go by. So the main one here by our front drive.
You ready?
We
Yeah,
also
I'm
have a
ready.
wig wag by the station there. Wave! Wave at everybody at the depot.
I'm leaving it now.
So the museum has come a long way. It started with 1 steam locomotive here at Cook Memorial Park, where the museum started. And now we have 70 pieces of rolling stock. That's everything from our diesel engines to our passenger and freight cars and utility vehicles. We also have some extra sites here for you because we're building on to our museum. Like I said, our depot is our first
Oh,
building.
God.
And as we come
Is
around
that
this big
scary?
white building that we're missing by now, that is our Renfesti Center. So if you had a chance to go through the museum, that's where our Union Pacific Big Boy is. It's where our Eisenhower locomotive is. That was built in 2001, and it was a very important building because it was the first climate-controlled building for our rolling stock. So as we were starting to restore things, we could get them into a nice climate-controlled area. And then we're adding on to that what's called our Fox River expansion. So that's the building you'll see kind of at the tail here. So we have more room for some of the pieces we're restoring, more room for the rolling stock, more educational space,
Neighborhood houses over here. As you
event
can see.
space, and exhibit areas. So that'll be very nice. That should be
Chicago
open at the
Great
end of
Western.
September. Everything is still on track for us for that.
Who's that? Who's that?
Burlington.
So ground was broken
Burlington.
last
CB
May.
and Kyo.
So it's really come a long way in a very short amount of time.
There.
So as you look out towards the museum side, you can get a better view of the new building. And then off to my left, you can see the Fox River.
No way, look.
We also have an observation tower here. You're welcome to climb up that. So basically what you'll do is from the depot, you'll kind of follow the tracks around, just stay off the tracks, but you can follow them around the same route and come over here to the tower. So it's an easy 99 steps up to the top, and then you get a nice view. You can actually see Lambeau Field from up there too, but you get a great view
ducks
of
in the
our
river.
property in the Fox River.
Ooh.
There's a new area.
Now the Fox River was very important to us in the area because that was your main source of transportation coming here in the early 1800s, even into the
There's the inside of
mid-1800s. You're traveling by the waterways, so if you're coming from the East Coast, you're going through the Great Lakes, down Green Bay, and down into
Look,
Fox
there's
River.
Burlington around here. Wait, no, I think I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong.
Green Bay until the 1860s.
Scott's
when
in
the Chicago
Central.
Northwestern came up here, and that was a huge deal. There were big
Now here's
parties,
the,
big newspaper
the attraction
events.
of things.
You're also welcome to check out our open air pavilion over here. Most of our steam locomotives are in there.
Ooh,
So
the
you're welcome to
tender.
walk through, see that. You'll see it as we come around on the backside here too.
Baggage car.
And then
Oh,
just
there's that
past
thing.
that building, you'll be able to see a little
Wait, by the
gray
post
building, and that is our restoration facility.
What that is.
So when our locomotives need to get repaired or we're doing restoration work, they go into there. And when we come around the other side, I'll show you the tracks that go in. And pretty soon, you'll see one already. If you look out towards the riverside, you'll be able to see our goats.
Go.
Go.
Goats.
So we've got two little babies. There's one little baby there on the rocks.
Little goats.
So these were actually, they were just dropped off yesterday. That was a fun thing I got to do yesterday morning, was help get the goats off the truck and over here.
More goats.
So they're from a place called Goats on the Go. And they come, and basically you can get these goats to go through areas if you have a lot of brush and
goats.
overgrown areas, you can get them to come and they'll eat through everything. So we have them kind of coming along the riverside, helping us out.
Look, that sounds horrible. I can literally hear.
Oh, here's the bridge.
Here comes the bridge.
And as we go over the bridge, it'll actually feel like we're just floating right across because you can't even see the bridge. So the only way you can see it is if you look through the slats here as we go by. So if you've ever heard anyone say don't cross a railroad bridge, this is one of the reasons. One, it's trespassing because these are owned by the railroad, so if you're crossing over, you're trespassing. The other reason is because it's very dangerous, because if you happen to be on a railroad bridge and a train comes through, there's nowhere for you to go except off the bridge.
He literally is speaking facts.
Right now we're heading onto the south end of our property.
Oh God.
So if the hair on the back of your neck is starting to stand up, it's because we're at a place called Terror on the Fox. So if you're from the area, you've probably heard of that, but that's a haunted house that gets put on every year. So the museum owns the property back here, but we lease it out. There's a production company that does a haunted house every year. So this
That's
is
so
where
much
we drop off
noise.
visitors, we pick them up,
Going-
we
just
take them
going
around,
7
drop
miles
them
per
off
hour,
here,
that's
and they
like a
go
lot of
through the haunted
noise.
house.
Oh, who's that?
You probably can't see it as well now, but there is a pirate ship back there. You may be able to make out the mast of that a little bit through the trees. And then I'll come into a little opening for the end of the haunted house. And as we come around the curve, the engineer is going to ring the bell, and then he's going to blow the whistle 2 times. We have a blind crossing up here, so we always blow
Yes.
the whistle to let people know we're coming up.
I can finally hear an alcohol horn. It's the first
And
ever
then
time.
Just past that, we'll make our first stop at our boxcar.
Alright, you ready?
Okay,
And then
coming
we'll
across
talk
the
about
box
hobos
car.
for a little bit.
Hobos.
And most of the time when you think about hobos, oh, here's our bell, so get ready for 2 whistle blasts. So if
3,
you need to cover your
2,
ears,
1.
get ready.
Yo, that was cool.
It's always exciting for me too because every engineer does it slightly at a different time, so I'm always trying to warn people before it happens, but I have to guess, okay, this engineer does it here, this one does it here. Actually, these two spooky cars right here are the sister cars to the one in front of us. These three were all on the Reading line and they came to us. And when they built the museum, took the one that was in the best operating condition and made it one of our trains. And then this is actually where you exit the haunted house.
There's that. There's a coach bus.
And then we'll make a stop at our boxcar now.
A boxcar.
The boxcar, guys.
And a lot of times when we think about hobos, we think of the 1930s, a lot of people out of work during the Great Depression, or you think kind of the cartoon characters where you've got the stick with the little paddler and they're wandering around. Hoboing really started right after the Civil War when soldiers were trying to get home. So the military did a really good job of getting them to the battlefield, but they didn't always do a good job of getting them back home afterwards.
It's Betty the boxcar.
Bound. So all these soldiers going home, they were going homeward bound. Another possible way is from the term hoboy or farmhand. So you had all these people traveling, trying to find work. We don't really know where the word came from, but we do know that there were a lot of these people doing this. There are still people as hobos today. And it's just as illegal as it was then, because basically what these hobos were doing is they were waiting for the train to go just before it picked up full speed when it's leaving the freight yards. The hobos are running alongside and they're jumping on the boxcars, they're jumping on the other freight cars and just hanging on and getting a free ride. So if they were caught, they would get kicked off. Or if they missed their train, which literally that meant they missed as they were jumping on, they could get injured, they could end up getting run over, and that happened too. So very illegal, very dangerous. And it wasn't like this where you had a nice open boxcar where you could jump in the side door and just have this easy ride. They'd be holding onto the ladders, the roofs, they'd be riding on the underside of the cars. But as they were doing this, they found that some places welcomed them in, other places didn't want them at all. So some towns might have work for them, other towns wanted to just get rid of them. So they developed this writing system with little pictures here. So the sign closest to me, the upside down Y, and if you can't see everything, our brakes are set, so you are welcome to stand up and look around, and we will pass by here a second time. But the upside down Y means dangerous. So if you were a hobo coming into town and you saw that, you knew that this was not a safe place. This was not a good town to be in. The checkerboard symbol next to it means jail. So that means you'll be thrown into jail. Which means you might either be thrown into jail, get a free place to stay for the night, maybe a free meal, or it might mean you get beat up, thrown in jail, and you're not sure when you get to leave. So pluses and minuses. Anytime you see a box with a dot in it, that means dangerous, and the wavy line underneath means water. So in this case, the water isn't safe. So welcome to Green Bay. It's dangerous. You'll be thrown in jail. The water's not safe, which sometimes when you see the Fox River and Dutchman's Creek, you definitely won't want to drink out of there. There were happy symbols too. There were good ones. We'll talk about those too. On the other side of the open door, there's a boxcar with the name Betty underneath and a picture of a clown. And those were two hobo signatures, Boxcar Betty and Bozo the Clown. So when you were a hobo, you made up your own name. You didn't just use your regular name. You made up your own traveling name. The last picture there, the picture of a train, means it's a good place to pick up a train. And just like today when we give directions, we draw arrow signs, we write where we're going, so it's pointing us back to Hood Junction, back to our depot. So as you go around the museum today, we do have little signboards, little flipboards with other hobo signs that you can see. So there might be some where a farmer would let you sleep in the barn for the night, or there was a nice person that would give you things. As we get ready to head off, and right above the coupler, there's another symbol. So as we pass by, once everybody has had a chance to see it, I'll explain what that one is. And ladies on board, pay special attention because the sign at the end of the car is specifically for you.
Wait, what?
Passengers are seated 106.
I hear them. And we're off. Yeah.
There actually is a hobo convention that happens every year in Iowa, in Clear, Iowa. We have a hobo museum there. A couple of weeks ago, we actually had a group of hobos that were traveling around visit the museum. So there are still folks that do this. So right at the end of the car, right above the coupler, there's another picture. So there's a picture of a cat. So ladies, if you get home tonight and see a cat carved on a tree in your yard or on your fence post, that means that a nice lady lives here. So that means that a hobo might knock on the door thinking, well, maybe we'll get some free food, maybe they'll have some clothing for us. For guys, we get a top hat. So a top hat means that a nice man lives here. And you can look up online too. The hobo culture is really pretty interesting. There's a lot more of the hobo symbols. There's also a thing called hobo art or tramp art. These folks had a lot of spare time, so they were doing a lot of whittling. So it's actually an American art form now. We're just going over our second bridge. Creek is actually pretty low. Normally we'll see egrets in here. We've got ducks and geese. We even get pelicans that will come down from the bay. Which I was going to say that sometimes we get fish. The fish I just saw didn't look too lively.
Here's a crossover.
Here's the crossover track.
Towards the museum, you'll be able to see the tracks that go into our 150 center where that purple and silver car are located, into our pavilion, and then also into our maintenance facility. Locomotive, there's a silver train there with a number 2 on it. If you had a chance to go through the museum, right outside our main gift shop, there was a model of that. That is the General Motors Aero train. It's a really neat train that was built in the 1950s. It was going to be the future of passenger travel. A lot of money was put into that design, and it was a complete failure. The idea was to have this train that could have a nice powered engine. It would pull passenger cars. It would go 100 miles an hour. It would go long distances, 400 or 500 miles. So basically what they did was they did make it all aerodynamic, but they also took bus bodies and put them on rail car frames so the cars were lighter, so the engine didn't have to work as hard. Well, when they were testing it out, they made 2 test models, 2 complete train sets, and as they were testing it out, they discovered that one, the engine was incredibly underpowered, so when it was being tested in the Southwest, it couldn't make it up all the hills. So other locomotives actually had to be attached and pull the train. The other issue was the car bodies were too light. So as it was traveling, it would be fine until you got to about 50 miles an hour, and then you're starting to hit more bumps, and all of a sudden, the train started to rock and bounce around on the tracks. So it was a very uncomfortable ride. And in fact, one passenger said riding on it was like being shaken into jelly. It was that uncomfortable of a ride. So all the railroads they tested it out on, nobody wanted it. The 2 that were built ended up getting sold to the Rock Island line, and it was used more for commuter service, so they never got to top speeds, and they only worked for about 10 years. So we have a locomotive and 2 passenger cars. The Transportation Museum in St. Louis has the other, and then all the other cars were scrapped out. So it kind of has a sad story, but it is a neat looking train. It was kind of their version of high-speed rail in the 1950s. As we come around our north side again here on our north track, we have, if you probably noticed it the first time around, we have a really weird looking piece of equipment. It's got a big wing on the side, and there's another on the other side, that brown car there. That's called a Jordan spreader, and it's a utility vehicle. It's kind of interesting though, it didn't have a motor on its own, so it had to be pulled from the locomotive. But it's basically a big plow. So you had someone in the cab operating the big wings on the side with hydraulics. Those would open up and it could scrape any ballast along the tracks. It could also cut down brush that had grown up. And there would be another attachment that would go on the front, and then you could use it as a snow plow. So it did have a lot of uses. We have another snow plow, a wooden snow plow in our Lenfesty Center that you can check out. And then the last car on the track, it looks like a simple baggage car, but it was actually used by the Railway Express Agency. And that was basically like your UPS or FedEx on the rails. They were post office cars, and we do have a newly restored post office car in the Lenfesty Center. But the REA was like your FedEx. They were moving big packages and things. And one of the fun things I get to do is I get to do oral histories with people who work for the railroad. And I got to talk to someone who worked for the REA. And he said one day we got to work and we had a very special package we had to move. It was a live tiger. And it was not sedated. It was in a cage loaded onto the train, onto the car. And he said it was one of the best days ever because every stop they would make, they would ask people if they wanted to see what they were hauling for the day. So people would look in the window and this tiger would jump up and scare everybody. So they had a great time everywhere they went. He said the last stop though was his hometown and his sister was waiting at the station. So they did the same thing. His sister looked in the window, the tiger jumped up and scared her. She ran home and told her mom, and then he got yelled at. So it doesn't matter how old you are, your siblings can still get you into trouble. But it's really fun when we get to hear stories like that about how people were dead. A lot of times when we're restoring cars, we get people who come out, like when we did the post office car, we had a couple of people, so they can talk about what their experiences were. It helps us when we're giving tours, when we're developing education programs. So we do a lot of fun events here throughout the year. Next weekend actually is our Paw Patrol event, so we have that next weekend. We also do a Great Bunny Train right before Easter. Like I talked about, we have Terror on the Fox. We also have a more kid and conductor-friendly Halloween event called the Great Pumpkin Train. And there we take everybody around and everyone gets a train ride and they get to get off and get a pumpkin. And then we have crafts and activities. So with everything, and we do a Polar Express event in the winter. In December and November.
Here comes the goats.
But one of the things we really want to make sure we do, and we're passing by our goats again, yep. So, and I will mention too, these are work goats, so they're not petting zoo animals. This is something that we don't have the same familiarity with farms like we used to anymore. But they are farm animals, so they don't generally just come up and want love and get pet like they have a petting zoo. But with any of the events that we do here, we also like to include a train ride. Because when we have the train, we're a railroad museum. But a lot of times, this is people's first ride on a train. We have a lot of kids that this is their first train ride.
Oh, God.
And honestly, even for a lot of adults, this is their first train ride. I had a lot of adults last year that this was the first train ride they've ever been on. Most of the time our experience with trains is having to wait because there's a freight train going by and we're stuck waiting for them. Always when we're behind schedule, it seems. So we're going over our creek again.
Look.
People fishing.
People fishing. What's that?
I've seen kayakers come through here, we have turtles, so it's a pretty active. Oh, there's an egret right by the shoreline over here, that white bird. Looks like a little bitty stork.
Fish.
So it's a nice site, like I said, we've got right the river here, which plays into transportation history. We get all the animals. The goats are normal for us. We're only here for a week to work, but we do have a lot of woodchucks, geese. We actually have a bunch of cats that live here in one of our locomotives back by our shop.
Oh, yeah,
And in total, we have 33 acres on our site, so it's really nice. We still have a lot of room to expand.
I'm not very affected by the horn yet.
So then again, just that heads up as we come around past the clearing and we go by the house. The engineer will ring the bell and then blow the horn.
Here we go. One of the benches are blocking the view. We have a horn again. And go pass by.
All right, get ready for those
3,
blasts,
2,
those horn blasts.
1. And yo,
Like I said, I was trying to give people a heads up. One of my most embarrassing moments on the train is not when I was conducting, but when I was a passenger. And I had brought my kids on the train, and I was just happily riding along and not paying attention. The whistle blast went off, and I jumped higher than anyone else on the train. My kids thought it was hilarious.
there's the sister cars.
Oh, here's the dude.
So again, when we go by our hobo car, the symbols again, the upside down Y was dangerous, the checkerboard, jail, and the dangerous water. Boxcar Betty and Bozo the Clown, and then a good place to pick up a train.
Alright, just pay your
So
boxcar.
parents, when you get home, if you want, you can put an upside down Y on your kid's door because it's dangerous and you don't want to go in there.
Bye bye, Betty.
We're arriving back at the station.
Okay,
So all of the
roll.
pieces that we have here at the museum, they all came on the rails here to the museum. Most of them were donated by the railroads directly. Some of them, they might have been private cars that someone bought from the railroad, used as a private car, and then donated to the museum. Last time after we got past the bridge, I had you all look towards the museum so you could see the tracks going into our buildings. This time, if you look out onto the road, the white warehouse up here, we own the property. This white warehouse, this actually used to be an old Red Owl warehouse, if you were familiar with the grocery store chain. Then it was Super Value, now it's Unfi, so they rent out the property there.
Reverse.
There are tracks that go across the street behind the warehouse and connect to the main line. So that's how all of the trains
Is
got
there a
here, all of our
crossover?
rolling stock, and we can still get things on and off. We're still connected with Canadian National. Canadian National has actually donated a few things. They donated one of our engines that's in the pavilion right now, one of our box cars. They actually, some of the folks that worked for CN recently helped us re-rail a steam locomotive. There's a steam locomotive that you'll see right here. It's kind of in front of the pavilion, and then next to that you'll see some tracks that are pretty mangled up and all cut up. We were moving some things into the pavilion, and we moved the steam locomotive out. We got it across the crossing up by the street. We switched. We were pushing it back into the pavilion, and then the tracks decided they didn't want to play. So the tracks, when it was coming around the curve, they just started to roll over. It ripped the spikes right out, and we derailed that locomotive. So we just got it re-railed. It took us about 3 nights, about 15, 16 hours to get that re-railed. We had to use 2 locomotives to pull it, so the one of the videos that we'll be showing on Facebook, on our Facebook page here in a few
Where's
weeks.
the playground train?
So it was definitely a good learning experience for us. It's one I want to never experience again, but it was a good learning experience, and thankfully we had a lot of help with our volunteers and friends from CN.
Give me Canadian National.
All right, we'll be coming back into our station here. Everyone, please remain seated until I get the all clear from the engineer that the brakes are set. Right after our train ride here, if you go into our main building and then into our theater, so right into the lobby and off to your right, we have a video on the Union Pacific Big Boy, so you're welcome to watch that. It's about 25 minutes. Otherwise, you're welcome to go through our site, head out to our tower. I think a great day to be here. It's wonderful weather. So I do thank you very much for coming out to join us here and support our museum, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Okay, that's mine.
They should do a Blue Horizon special. Then come on, we're going. We're going to the outside stuff now. Dad.
Oh my god, that was the most amazing train ride I ever had. So,
Hey, it was by accident. It wasn't on purpose.
yeah, that was.
They
that
were
was
just
true.
moving it, and then I was like,
Yeah, the rails decided to not play with the locomotive today, and they decided this kind of.
well, maybe Benji was on it.
Woo!
Oh,
Oh my
look at the
god.
boxcar behind us.
Well, thank you.
Maybe we can say hi to the engineer.
Where's the engineer?
It's over there.
You want to see it?
Let's go to the outside exhibit.
To the outside exhibit. Here are the trash bins
Guys,
again.
take this slowly. This is the outside exhibit. This is where all their main stuff is.
Dad's gonna go on the tower, and I'm gonna stay with you guys.
All right. Is he gonna have a? Can we get to the tower after?
You guys wanna go tower right now?
After.
After. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, guys. So we can go look.
All right, guys. I'm gonna start recording for my channel.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
Here are some of the passenger cars. That silver one right there. That one. That's a part of the Burlington Zephyr.
Silver
That's a part of
Streak.
the Atlantic coastline. I don't know what these are. I think they're Pullman though, obviously. What's a TTX flat car doing here? Whatever. Here's a crane, steam crane.
Oh, that's a rusty boy. That's one rusty boy.
You wanna record too, bro?
Look, it has like the controls for the crane. Steam.
I know the lighting is terrible, but
If you can see this,
this is not really
yeah.
well maintained. The hook is rusted. The thing itself is rusted. The flat car is rusted. The TTX car is sort of rusted. And the rest down there, I don't know. I haven't checked them.
Let's get straight to the national. I don't know what that says.
This is what I'm here for.
No, here's 502's tender.
The arrow string.
Bird.
Matthew, I'm gonna take a picture of the.
Guys, so here is.
This is Canadian National 103, an EMD something. I think it's an E9. Here's
Here's.
the one-of-a-kind aerotrain. The other one's at St. Louis. Let's go over here. Alright, take your time. Still in this
Safety
Rock
first.
Island livery. Here are the two passenger cars they were just talking about.
Look at that.
Solid white. Oh, never mind. They're not solid white. They stole the Rock Island logo. But it's really fainted.
Oh my god.
Here's
Look,
a
there's like two axles. There's only like one axle in each car.
Here's a caboose. Take it slow. Whoa. Okay.
Oh, this is a Casey Jones incident.
Here's a C&W caboose. Minneapolis and St. Louis 5238.
Yo. Here is
Here's a
D538.
tanker. The Milwaukee Road.
The Milwaukee Road. Oh my god, we've actually found the Milwaukee Road.
We'll go there later. Wait, Matthew, take your time.
Alright, look at this thing. Actually, look at that. So walking beyond the rails of.
Hey, Matthew, wait.
Huh? Okay. Wheels.
Here is a Burlington baggage car something caboose hybrid. Oh, never mind. It's a dynamometer car. It's used to like monitor speed. Chesapeake in Ohio.
CNO, actually.
That's Chesapeake in Ohio with its real name.
Yeah.
CNO.
And 8 and full progress.
2337.
Oh my god.
Here's an Empire Builder car.
Oh, that Empire.
One of the few remaining things from the Empire Builder.
Look how large this locomotive compared to us little ones.
Right.
Look at them. Look at these steel beasts, or should I just call them iron horses?
There's a lot of birds
Look.
nest and poop all around. They come in here and they nest and poop.
Oh,
Hey, that's true.
I think
The Milwaukee Road.
IRL.
Santa Fe, all the way. Santa Fe, all the way.
they can nest up
You
there.
have to say my name.
They can nest.
Yeah, there's in Topeka and the Santa Fe.
Santa Fe 57 back. ATSL.
Wheels. Like a 4.8. Yeah, it's a 4.2. No, it's a 482. That's the 482 type.
Can't see it from here. Oh, never mind. Look at this. Yeah, I did see its sister locomotive at the IRM. It's the exact model.
Hello there, guys. So here are these. Okay.
Never mind, this is my favorite locomotive at the museum. Oh my gosh, look at it. It's so amazing.
Is this supposed to be like a 25 ton or something?
I don't know. Looks cool though. There's
Probably
a
is.
Rusty tender.
Rusty tender. We got rusty tender over there. Why does that kind of remind me of something? So over here by this area, there's a greenbay route engine over here. Number 315. That's GBW's greenbay route. Here's the 25 ton. Here is the gang. Big couplers. Earlier in the
I
video,
think it's sister locomotive.
here's a hobo sign hunt. There's one of them right here. We're getting cobwebbed right now. Rails. Big street. Up the stairs we go. Here we see this
There's a lot of birds.
guy. We're gonna go inside the cap of this one. I'm gonna give you the tour of inside this guy. So we have these here again. Got this. Seats. Moving parts.
Wait, I want to go in there too.
Oh, that did something. I think I can move this. Yeah, I can move that. Alright, so here's this.
This is terrible.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, she's in terrible condition. Look at him. Or I don't know.
5017's cab is not looking the best. I think the IRM took better care of her sister than the Green Bay Museum did.
So there's a small firebox thing. So
What else is there?
what's this?
Railway Express agents.
You heard him.
Here's Chesapeake in Ohio 2736.
Oh hey, it's one of these guys. I actually know about these ones.
I saw another one of this class at the Illinois Museum too.
2736. Chesapeake in Ohio.
Yeah, they do.
I see a little switch over there or something. Look at that. Oh, here's another the tanker.
Have you been booked for 1 hour?
Yes. Because it can't even do anything. The Milwaukee Road. What?
It's an Alco something. I don't know much about
Look. The Milwaukee
Hang
Road.
on. That says the Milwaukee Road. Probably one of my favorite class 1 railroads.
I can see little controls in there.
All of them look like Fairfax Mall.
Here are the coaches. Wait, are those seats in there? Yeah, I see seats in there. Oh, damn. Damn.
Broke that.
Something broke.
Why would you try to break an aero train?
Well, it wasn't me. It was just like that.
It was you who did it.
No, it was always like that. I kind of
Creepy
just...
inside.
Yeah, I saw seats in there.
Huh?
put seats in there.
Did you hear what the guy said? This train was a failure.
I remember.
Yeah.
They used box.
They used bus bodies for a train.
They were shooting by.
Yeah.
Looks like it. What?
Trust me, it did not.
They used a lot of money on it.
And it failed miserably.
Guys, look at the doghouse. Next area over
Wait,
here.
guys, don't rush it.
Here's this.
I have no idea what
This is the ball that locomotive works for the USA 102.
Recognize
It's
that
a 280 type steam engine. This is 102. Over here is the commuter car over here by the Milwaukee. No, Chicago Northwestern. What the? There's like little rods on the tender. I think they're used for like more power. A diesel generator, steam engine.
You ready to go?
No, not yet.
What?
We're still exploring.
I don't care. Yes, enough.
Bro, we are.
Yes, enough.
Chicago and Northwestern. Huh? So this is basically.
About that, I tell you, put your
We can't go up there sadly. Moving on to Chicago and Northwestern commuter double-decker.
But the doors are still shut. I think these guys are used for the Halloween event. But not
Still some seats in there.
Great Northern.
Well, we have stumbled upon the Great Northern
The
locomotive.
many fallen flags of the BNSF. The Great Northern.
Messina Woodware Co. Those are that. Oh my God.
The Great Northern. Coupled up to Thomas.
Yeah, he's not in great condition, buddy. Oh. There's Thomas. But
Tommy, it's the number
Thomas?
one.
This is Thomas, but he's not Thomas.
yeah, I can see a Plymouth in there.
What?
There's a little Plymouth in there.
Wait, I didn't see that. There's a Plymouth in there.
This is a.
Bro, your brother's cosplaying as Thomas.
Oh my God, guys, look, it's Rusty. Oh, this Shay has seen better days. This Shay has seen better days.
I think the only narrow. No. This is the
Bro.
only Shay and the only narrow gauge engine.
Tim, this Shay locomotive had better days. Okay, let's just say it had better days than usual.
Definitely did have better days.
Probably. This is Parade Anchor in Lumber Cone, well, number 5. Narrowgauge Shays. Yeah, the Shay has been seeing better days than usual because he kind of. Ooh, ladders.
And that's it.
And that's the outside attraction. Here.
Why isn't there just a random?
Now these engines, they're Iron Beast, also known as Iron Horses, steam engines, steam locomotives, you know, the rest.
Train.
This is the American Locomotive Company, this is the American Locomotive Company, 1920. And also,
wait.
huh? Sure. GBW 315. Wisconsin Central's GP9.
And that guy too. Wow.
And there's the cargo over there.
GBW. Wisconsin Central 715.
I think that's Wisconsin Central. I don't know what this thing is.
This is like a GP 15, 19? I have no idea.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, it's money. We probably shouldn't enter here.
The air slide covered hopper.
Yeah, that's cool. Guys, we're coming back.
It's kind of watery over here.
Matthew, let's go.